Have you ever looked in the mirror and realized you do not know who the person is on the other side? Like it feels like you lost yourself along the way somewhere. You may have went through a relationship that drains you. You may work at a job that drains you. Life may just be draining you. There's a lot that we have to deal with on a day-to-day, on top of taking care of ourselves, on top of taking care of our families, and making sure that everything is in order. And sometimes we allow ourselves to get left on the back burner, unfortunately. And that can cause us to lose who we are at our core. It can cause us to lose our spark and our spunk and our smile and our happiness. So today, I want to talk about how we get our spark back after life tries to sucker punch you. How do you get back on track? Today's question of the day is, why aren't there companies that create shoes and bras that are mismatched sizes? Mix match sizes for the people who have different size feet or different size chest, breasts. There are people who go to the store and they need a size 8 on the left foot and a size 7 on the right foot. I feel like they would make a killing if they came out with mixed match shoes. And if you are one of those people that need mixed match shoes, how do you deal with that? Do you just have one foot that's smushed and one foot that is just kind of like hanging there with all this extra space? How does that work? I wonder. This is Fully Loving Yourself, and my name is Sonia Star Jade. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So our lesson of the day, of the week, is to invest in ourselves. As women, we tend to invest into everyone else around us. And oftentimes we forget to invest in ourselves. And I'm guilty of this as well. I spent a vast amount of time putting everyone above me, family, friends, clients at work, my job. I would take all my extra time and pour it into everything else outside of me and not take the time to pour back into myself. A lot of this was rooted in survival mode of just trying to make it, making sure that everyone else was good around me, everyone else was pleased, everyone else was happy with my performance. And I looked in the mirror and I realized, like, girl, you letting yourself go. Who are you? Who is this girl? Who is this person? You don't dress the way you used to dress. You don't carry yourself the way you used to carry yourself. Your confidence isn't as loud and as bold as it used to be. Where did you go? We gotta go find her, honey. And so some of the ways that I'm going to be getting my spark back this year, after having a challenging year with health issues that really took away a lot of my energy, if I'm being honest, I just have to be more intentional about how I show up for me. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing this year is booking more appointments to like get my hair and nails done. Well, not my nails, but my hair. I finally found a hairstylist that I feel like I can trust, whose work is really good. I really enjoyed the appointment that I had with her last month. I got my hair cut from her and she was just so kind, and I just really enjoyed it. So I'm going to be booking more appointments with her, but also finding other people to do certain hairstyles that I like. I really love getting my hair and nails done. And I was in school for massage therapy in 2018 or to 2019. And at that period of time, I wasn't allowed to get my nails done because I was doing massage. And that's a real big part of my identity. So that kind of threw me for a loop, because it's just like, man, now I got these little stubby fingers and I want to get my art, I want to get my nails done. And so I haven't been doing massage as much. So in between times when I'm not at the spa, I will get me some press-ons, honey. I found these press-on nails on Amazon, BX Art, and they're just like regular French tip nails, and they look so cute. And you get like 30 pairs for like $21. And I'm just like, yeah, this is the move, because I like to feel like a girl. Like, I like to feel, soft and feminine. And I recognize that the roles that I was in as far as my career wasn't allowing me to really be my full self. Because when I would go to work as a caseworker, you can't really like dress a certain type of way. Well, I mean, you can, but it's not recommended. Like, you kind of got to dress down. And whenever I would dress up, it would be like, who you think you is? Where you think you going? Oh, you trying to be cute? And it's just like, I didn't want anybody to feel no type of way about me trying to be fine. Like, I was just trying to be cute. I would wear my heels to work. I would wear my skirts, my cardigans, all of this. And they looking at me like, and I realized that in order for me to thrive in my personal life, for my personal self, I had to kind of separate myself from that environment, from those workspaces. And the same thing with massage therapy. When I would go to school, it's just like, I'm wearing my scrubs, can't get my nails done. I don't feel like myself. This is not for me. I don't like the way this feels. So now I have an office job where I'm sitting and I can get dressed up more. I wasn't allowing myself to really like get dressed up because I work in an office full of guys. But I'm like, girl, ain't nobody worried about you. As long as you dress appropriately and you don't look crazy, go get your nails done, go get your hair done, and dress, nice, dress up. But because I haven't been able to do that for so long, and I was kind of dressing like I was in my early 20s for a very long time, I'm, again, still trying to figure out what that looks like for me. I mentioned this before, and I showed it in a few of my vlogs on my other channel, my main channel, where I was trying to find my style, trying to find my personal style now as a woman. I'm in my mid-30s. And also same thing with my hair too, because I've been doing my own hair for so long and trying to find somebody that I can trust who's not going to charge me $500 for a sew-in. I'm like, but I can't do everything. I can do like a basic sewing. I could do like some braids, but I gotta leave it to the professionals because I want to be cute. I want my hair to last. I want my hair to grow, and I just want to feel good. And there's just been so many things that have just kind of thwarted my confidence. When I started having gut health issues and hormonal issues, I started breaking out, and I never had breakouts this bad. Like, my skin has been breaking out so bad and just leaving like horrible scarring along my jawline that just started like 2 years ago or last year when it got really bad. No, it started getting bad in 2023. And I know that it was due to the stress, but I'm like, what in the world is going on? Where is this coming from? And I noticed that it would get worse when I would eat like sugar or when I would eat like fried foods or something. And I'm just like, yo, out of nowhere. Like, I've been eating this stuff my whole life. I was eating worse my whole life and never had these issues. What is going on? But I noticed that those things were making me feel insecure. When I looked in the mirror and I see like I'm breaking out here and I'm breaking out here, and I just don't feel pretty when I look in the mirror. And it's like, I know we are supposed to love ourselves at every stage, but it's hard to convince yourself that something that you don't like is beautiful. I know we have to train ourselves to say, like, oh, you know, I'm beautiful regardless of what I look like. Yeah, we have to learn to love ourselves regardless of what we look like, because looks are, you know, they're fleeting. They're vanity, you know? I'm still beautiful on the inside, but I would love to like what I look like when I look in the mirror. And that's just what it is. I would love to look in the mirror and be like, damn, girl, you did that. Damn, girl, you look good, you know? And I haven't felt that way. When I started, you know, having these skin issues, and when my body changed, like my body composition changed from sitting at work a whole lot. Now my butt is flatter and my stomach is like, I'm still like slim, but my body isn't like shaped the way that it used to be. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But I have to learn to like it. And if I don't like it, work on changing it. Go to the gym and lift. Walk up some hills. I started noticing that when I moved out of PA, where it's a very walkable city, we walked everywhere. We caught the bus everywhere. We didn't really drive a whole lot. But now that I live in North Carolina, that's all we do is drive everywhere. Nothing is really walkable. You gotta drive everywhere, and it's a lot of sitting at a desk, sitting in the car, sitting at home. And I'm like, I gotta do something about this. Like, I got to get up and get moving, because this is not who I am. I've always been a very active person. And I feel like that's why I'm losing my spark. Kind of losing what I've always loved to do, which is move, dance, and be pretty, be cute, get dressed up. And so that's the first step for me, is just focusing on the things that make me feel good, and that's looking good. I like looking good. I like pouring into myself, and I was always called vain. I like doing my makeup, my hair, my nails. Like, I like being a pretty girl. But I lost that because I let external forces convince me that I was doing too much, when in all actuality, I ain't doing enough. So I'm gonna be getting back to it, going shopping for clothes again. I don't really like the cold, but I need to get better at like my fall and winter fashion. That is something that I really want to do. And so with that too, I recognize that when we feel like we lose ourselves to whatever, you know, if you're a mom and your body's changed, or, you know, something happens and you just not yourself anymore, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever that is, I feel like it's necessary to kind of write down and identify what those things are that are making you feel like you're not yourself anymore. Like journaling about what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, what makes you feel like that girl, you know? That's why I created my self-awareness workbook, to ask people questions, like, so that they could really dig deep into what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what makes them feel joy, what makes them feel alive. Because I had to go through all of that. I've spent the last, I don't even know, 20 years maybe, learning myself, and also learning other people and observing other people, and trying to understand what helps people to feel better, and techniques that we can use to improve ourselves. I've taken so many personality tests. I've taken so many courses. I've watched so many videos and read so many books. I'm one of those people that's probably overly obsessed with self-improvement and self-development. I really am. Because I want to change the trajectory of my bloodline. When I have children, I want to be able to offer them different knowledge and different experiences. And the only way to be able to do that is to have them for myself. I am an avid researcher. I like to look up things and learn new things. That's just who I am. And my first test subject has been myself. If, like, when I was in college, I was like, what am I going to school for? I didn't want to go to college in the first place. So I'm like, if I'm here, what am I going to study? I'm gonna study myself. I want to study my family. I want to study my friends. I wanted to learn mental health. I wanted to learn behaviors because I had been diagnosed with like anxiety, and like my family, they deal with like addiction and other mental health stuff, and I didn't want that to impact me as I got older. And so I wanted to know what the signs were. I wanted to know how to prevent mental health issues if possible. I just wanted to know everything about human behavior and development. I studied childhood development. I studied elderly care and development. I studied communication, sociology, psychology. Everything that I could get my hands on, I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn about family structures. I wanted to learn about how people operate as individuals in society. Like, that was my jam. And I still have all the books upstairs because I always want to have something to go back and reference to. And so I recognize that a lot of people don't do a lot of self-awareness work. A lot of people don't take the time to dedicate to themselves to learn their own behaviors and learn about how to be better. People are they just operate in the world and just go with the flow and take things how they are. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people who I want to be better for myself. I want to be better for my relationships. And I actively ask people that I'm in relationship with, how can I be better? How can I improve? I, do like annual check-ins or like, monthly check-ins, not monthly, but I do check-ins with my friends and in my relationship. Am I slipping anywhere? Are there any areas that I could improve on? Is there any way that I can show up better for you? And when I realized that I was doing that for everybody else and not doing it for myself, I had to sit down and check in with me. Are there any areas, Star, that I can show up for you better? Are there any areas in which you are unfulfilled and I can show up for you more? What can I do to make you feel happy? What can I do to spend more time with you? Talking to myself, like, really. How can I spend more quality time with myself? I take myself on solo dates. In a couple weeks, I will be taking myself to see a Harry Potter symphony and taking myself out to eat. I love my solo dates. I mean, I love going out for dates with my husband too, but I love my solo dates because it's time that I get to pour into me and love on me. I buy myself flowers. I got my nails done. I pamper myself. Like, my husband, he'll send me when he's like, I know, you go on a solo date. Here's money to get your nails done. And I love that he gets it. And I have made that a habit to do. And I plan to continue to do it even when I have children. And I'm glad that I'm, in a relationship where I have, the ability to go and take care of myself. Because it's something that I've always done. I solo travel, I solo date, and it's just for me. Time just for me to take a book and go read somewhere, go for a walk. Because I'm a lover girl and I recognize that I have a tendency to like pour a lot into my relationships. And I didn't want to forget myself in the process. Because it's easy to do. It's easy to do. But it's just something that I have to do. So I am actually working on like a solo date deck. I think they're already done. I just got to get them like printed out and get them up on the site. Because I love solo dates. And as we are coming up on Valentine's Day, I celebrate Valentine's Day. Like, me and my husband, we celebrate Valentine's Day. He takes care of me and I take care of him, and like we love on each other on Valentine's Day. But I also pour into my girls and I also pour into me. February is a month of love, honey, and it's love for everybody. The dog gonna get a date. I'm gonna get a date. My man gonna get a date. My girl's gonna get a date. This will be my third or fourth year in a row where I'm celebrating Valentine's Day. Yeah, and I'm getting cute and taking myself out on a solo date because we all deserve to feel loved, cherished, and valued. And I recognized that I was kind of slipping with my mental health. I was getting a little bit depressed and I was getting a lot of bit anxious. And I'm like, I need my people. I need more attention from my people. I need more time from my people. And so I'm like, let me go ahead and throw me a little Valentine's Day party so that I can get back in the groove of being me and entertaining and just getting my spark back by being in community with people. So that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about, was getting dressed up and going on solo dates. That is how you get your spark back and pour into you. And so you will be able to find soon my solo date deck on my website in Flatopia, on my website fullylovingyourself.com. And I will link that in the show notes and the description box if you're watching on YouTube, just to give you different ideas of what you can do to take yourself out on a date, solo trips, all of that good stuff. And so that's another thing for me. I love to travel, okay? And I started noticing that these flight prices are crazy out of this world. So I'm really good at like being able to find like a good little short trip. I actually found a flight to Costa Rica for like $200, and I'm just like, oh, I really want to go. But I don't know if I'm going. I might go, but we'll see. I love solo tripping. And that was one thing that I told my husband before we got married. I was like, baby, I've been solo traveling for the last 15 years. I've been solo traveling since I was 18. But I've been traveling since I was 15, maybe earlier than that. But as soon as I was able to get my license, I was out. Okay? I was driving wherever I could go. And I'm still the same way. I will get in my car and drive to the beach for a day, book me a hotel room, and just sit there. I will drive up to DC just to go get something to eat. I love my solo time. And I told my husband this before we got married, before we even start dating. I'm like, if you ain't got your passport, I will leave you. I gotta go. It's in me. It's in me. I got something in Sagittarius, and I got to go. I like to go on a short trip somewhere, preferably where I know somebody, so I don't feel I'm too scared. But I'm always gonna go somewhere. Like I went to Houston last year to babysit, but in the middle of me not babysitting, I was out. I was in the streets trying to figure out where the good eats was at. I'm always going to travel for some good food, okay? And if you're in a situation where you got kids, you better get you a babysitter or ask their daddy, here, take your children and go. Grandma, somebody, nanny, somebody, something. Let them kids go for 24 hours. I know it's not, people be like, I'm not leaving my kids with just anybody. And I understand that. I definitely understand. But when it comes to your sanity and your wellness and your well-being, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, mama. Like, you got to take care of yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, then the only person that you can really blame for you not having time for yourself is you. I'm just saying. Take advantage of people wanting to show up for you and get you a nanny. Go on care.com and get you a babysitter. Okay? Another thing that you can do to get your spark back is to find a creative hobby. Maybe one that involves other people outside of the house. One thing that I want to do this year is pottery. I've been trying to do pottery with my homegirl, and we just haven't gotten around to do it. It's pretty expensive. Right? I don't know. I feel like people know that we're looking for community, and so they've put a high price ticket on everything. Going to go do pottery is like $60. Excuse me, ma'am. What? $60 for a pot? That's crazy. But it is something that I want to do. I'm going to start going roller skating, and I got me some paint by numbers that were actually harder than I anticipated them to be. I'm not gonna lie. I got the paint by numbers, and me and my husband did them one night for our date night, and we did not finish them because there were so many numbers and so many like little pieces. I'm just like, man, this is harder than I thought it was gonna be. I wasn't expecting this, but I need to do that. I gotta finish my paint by numbers. I have 4 of them that I want to finish, and then I got puzzles that I'm doing that I gotta finish. But a 1,000-piece puzzle is a lot, but I gotta do it to get my mind back to being creative. And another thing that I've been doing is floral arrangement. So my husband used to get the flowers and do the floral arrangements, and he's really good at it, okay? But then I started to notice, I was like, man, I want to do that. That looks like fun. And so he taught me how to make the floral arrangements, and now it's something that I love to do. I'll just go to Trader Joe's and get a bunch of different color flowers and like different, greenery and stuff, and I'll come home and I'll like make my little pretty floral arrangements, and I get to do it every 2 weeks, and it's just so much fun. I think the bouquet that I'm looking at is one that he just got me, but then there's other ones that I have around the house that I made. And I like to make my floral arrangements tailored to like the season or the month. So for the month of December, I got like some blue flowers and some white flowers and different ones, and it's just really cute. Add a cute little nice touch to the area. I really love doing floral arrangements. But just like a creative hobby that you could do. At one point, it was like content for me. I was doing like the day in the lives. I loved editing, but that was fleeting for me. I don't think I cared to do that as much. I like coming on here and talking to y'all. I don't think that that's creative though. I think that I'm just over here wanting to pour into my community, and I want to reach other women who may be experiencing the same things as me and are looking for somebody who relates to them or who they can relate to. And so one thing that I do want to get back into is doing like cinematic vlogs. Not the kind of vlogs where like I gotta talk to the camera all the time, but just like, clips of like areas or when I'm traveling. I'm working on a New York vlog from like October. I'm so bad with my travel vlogs. I have a vlog from Houston from literally like a year and a half ago that I still got to edit. I'm horrible, but yeah, I gotta get on top of that. So having a creative hobby, finding a creative hobby that you can pour into, that helps you to connect with your femininity too. And I always mention this book. If you listen to my podcast or my videos, I always mention this book called The Secret Languages of Your Body, and it talks about if you're having issues in the womb area or anything, that it can mean that you're disconnected from your creativity and your femininity. And so the feminine energy is creative, and so if you're not feeling creative or if you're not being creative, then you can be disconnected from your feminine energy. And so feminine energy is creative. So that is something that is a goal of mine for this year, is to just be more creative and to invest more in my creative hobbies. Just for me, it's just remembering the last time I felt like that girl, or what makes me feel like that girl, or what makes me feel like that woman, allowing myself to be in environments and around people that bring me joy and that make me laugh. I'm grateful that I'm in a relationship where we have a lot of fun. Like, we are always laughing together, and so he don't never ever really let me get too down because he's a goofball. And if I'm ever feeling like too depressed or anything, he's always like super optimistic and just like happy. And sometimes it pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie, but it's important to be around people who have that good energy, that they can pour into you, that you can kind of mirror, because it inspires me a lot and encourages me to keep going on the days when I just feel like I just don't want to, or I feel like I'm in a depressive episode and I feel like it's winning. But I just don't let it. A lot of positive self-talk, prayer. I've been getting into my Bible more, reading a lot of encouraging Bible verses and reading stories in the Bible and doing like Bible studies with my friends. It has been helping me, and just having positive self-talk and reading positive things. Another thing too that I've been getting into, that I was saying in a different episode, the sound frequency healing, like positive sound frequency healing. I recognize that the things that we listen to and the things that we watch have a tendency to make us feel down about ourselves. You know, like you're scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, and you see the 21-year-old girl who just bought a 5-bedroom house for $1 million, and you're like, well, damn, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? You know, that can make you subconsciously feel like you're not doing good enough, like you're not pretty enough, because you aren't thin and of a different complexion, and you can't get all of the things that you see other people getting. It is very discouraging. So another thing that I would suggest, if you are feeling like you're in a rut and you want to get your spark back, is to get off of social media, at least for a time, or at least limit how much you're on social media. That's what I'm doing. I am more on like Threads and Substack, because I don't have to see people's highlight reels, like people talking about, oh, this is how I made $10,000 a month, and I can just keep on scrolling. I don't gotta really like see it to where it's implanted into my brain, and it makes me feel bad about my circumstances, like, oh man, I should have started earlier, because I would get like that, you know, like, oh man, if I would have just kept doing YouTube when I was in my 20s. But when I really think about it, I was not able to do YouTube after I graduated college. There was no reality where I was able to do YouTube other than when I started and how I'm doing it now. That's the reality of my situation. But if you're looking at other people's situation, like we got 22-year-old life coaches. Who are you coaching and what are you coaching them on? I really want to know. Like success coaches and stuff. I'm just like, you ain't even really been through nothing. I can't say that. I cannot say that, because I've been through a lot. I had went through a lot by the time I was 21 years old, by the time I was 24 years old. And that's why I chose the career that I did as far as being a life coach. And I was a life coach for 10 years. So I can't say that. There are a lot of young people who have been through things, and they probably got a whole lot of insight that they can share with somebody. But that's neither here nor there. If you are in a situation where you feel like you just haven't been yourself in a long time, it's okay. You can get through it, and that is did I say our lesson of the week? I don't think I did say our lesson of the week, but I do want to give y'all the quote of the day. More in my creative hobbies. Just for me, it's just remembering the last time I felt like that girl, or what makes me feel like that girl, or what makes me feel like that woman, you know? Allowing myself to be in environments and around people that bring me joy and that make me laugh. I'm grateful that I'm in a relationship where we have a lot of fun. Like, we are always laughing together. And so he don't never ever really let me get too down, because he's a goofball. And if I'm ever feeling like too depressed or anything, he's always like super optimistic and just like happy. And sometimes it pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie, but it's important to be around people who have that good energy, that they can pour into you, that you can kind of mirror, you know, because it inspires me a lot and encourages. So this year, I'm going to be looking into going shopping more, getting outside more, going to more events that don't cost me $125 to go, and connecting with people more. I really want to get back out here and get in the community and stop allowing me being an introvert to kind of get in the way of me living up to my full potential. And I pray that you are able to do the same thing, ladies. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that learning what makes me feel good. I'm looking at my feet right now, and this is what makes me say this. Sorry. Real quick, last point. I'm looking at my feet, and I realized that what makes me feel good is slippers and heels. But for a long time, I was wearing flats and sneakers. And this year, I'm going to be wearing more slippers and heels. Slippers around the house, silk pajamas around the house, and heels when I'm out. Heels when I'm at the grocery store, heels when I'm at work. Because that's what makes me feel good. And so I hope that this year you are able to identify what makes you feel good, what makes you feel like your best self, and that you are able to show up as her all year round and moving forward. Okay? I love y'all. Stay bold, stay joyful, and always be fully loving yourself. And I'll catch y'all in the next episode.